Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear listeners, I hope you'll be great. It's a new video, and this video addresses some very social and academic issues, not only for the students of English, but all the students and all the people in the world. Today, I'm just going to talk about who is a literate person and who is an educated person. There's a lot of debate on that, mostly whenever people who are studying at university level, at college level, whenever they are doing something, so people call them, "Why are you doing like that? Are you not an educated person?" So let's see, let's try to find out who is an educated person and who's a literate. As far as the definitions are concerned, it is said that a person is literate if a person can sign, if a person can read something, can read newspaper, or write his own name or her own name. So there are certain definitions. It's just up to reading or writing. The ability to read and write limits you to that you are actually a literate person. So who's an educated person then? The people who have studied education, or the ones who are the students of education, or who read a lot of books, they listen to scholars, they read scholars, they know it very well. There are certain definitions of education as well. So education basically is a process through which a person becomes a personality. Now, in short, if I tell you the difference between literate and educated is, literate is a person who has some degrees. Literate is a person who has some certificates. I mean, you pay fees to different educational institutions, and then you get certain degrees, you get certain certificates, on the basis of which you get a job. Then who's an educated person? You'll be surprised to know, like it's my own definition, it's my own understanding. Educated as a person, maybe the person never joined an academic institution, but person can be an educated person. Literacy is, or being a literate person, you can read or write, or maybe you have some certificates, you have received some degrees from academic institutions. But to be an educated person, you don't need to show your certificates. You need to show your behavior. You need to show your attitude. You need to show how you meet people. Now, in this regard, there are a lot of things. For example, as far as education or literacy and normal definition is concerned, if you even talk about Ibn Majah, if you talk about John Dewey, for example, so they say that education is a process through which there is a person and he has a personality inside. So education brings that personality out of that person, like that. So what is this actually? No, this is actually, this is when you are in society, the way you behave, your behavior basically tells whether you are educated or you are uneducated. Wearing good dress, wearing good shoes, eating at a very expensive restaurant, it doesn't show that you are really an educated person. It shows that, yes, you are a rich person. It shows you basically have some money. So having money does not mean that you are an educated person. So having certificates even doesn't reflect that you are an educated person. Yes, you are an educated person if you can forgive others. You are an educated person if you can follow the rules. You are an educated person if you can wait for your turn. You are an educated person if you work on merit. You are an educated person if, for example, you are driving and the signal goes red, you stop there. It shows that you are an educated person. So literate people, maybe they are giving money to educational institutions through which educational institutions may run financially well. And they support you people by giving you an exam and afterwards giving you a degree. But you will be an educated person if you are contributing to social welfare, if you are contributing to the development of your country. So this is what makes you basically an educated person. So merely having certificates, merely joining some educational institutions, studying in the schools, but whatever you are receiving from your teachers, whatever you are reading in the books, if you're not making it part of your education, if you're not making it part of your character, I mean, if there is no character building, you still tell lies after attending educational institutions. Now, when I say educational institutions, they can be engineering institutions, they can be medical institutions, they can be computer science institutions, they can be arts and humanities, they can be Islamic institutions, they can be churches, they can be synagogues or certain other places wherever people go for their purification. So wherever they live, if they cannot basically perform well, here I would like to narrate kind of a joke to you people. There was a person, he had a well, where people, they used to get water from in old times. Nowadays, we're very, modern things to, get the water out of the soil. So one day, a dog fell into the water. So he went to a cleric, a religious cleric, and requested him, because dog fell into that. So definitely the water was not in this condition to be used, particularly for religious purposes. So the cleric told him that if you take out this much quantity of water out of the well, so your remaining water is fine for you. You can use that for religious purposes and whatever the ways you want to use that, even for drinking purposes. So he came back home and he, threw certain containers inside and, took that water after the well. And afterwards, he went to the cleric and said, I've done that. Is the water okay now? And the cleric asked him, where is the dog? He said, the dog is inside the well. That was still inside the well. So see, our actions, our activities are like that. Basically, we want to purify ourselves. This education tries to purify ourselves. So we are taking the water out of the well, but in fact, we are not taking the dog out of the well. So in fact, our actions are like that. We are going to educational institutions, we are offering prayers, we are going to mosques, we are going to churches, we are going to synagogues, we are going to temples. But when we come back, our activities don't change. We are still the same. So are these worships, are these institutions, are this education that we are getting from education institutions, it is not affecting our lives in a right way. So basically, when this education is affecting you people in a right way, I mean, sitting in the examination halls, cheating time and again, definitely it shows that education is not affecting your behavior well. So this education should affect your behavior. This education must affect your relationships, and you need to have equal type of behavior with people around you people. So merely going to educational institutions, it does not make you an educated person until the education you are getting, it is affecting your lives. It is, if you're not going on the right track, if you're not respecting people, if you're not respecting the law, it means there is a problem. We are literate and we are not educated. So yes, if we want to be educated, let's try to perform as educated people do. Let's try to change our behavior. Let's try to do whatever we read is good that we need to do. So only then our countries can flourish. Otherwise, if we are simply literate, our educational institutions will flourish only financially. Thank you so much.